Hey folks, so today we're going to talk about the language of models. Um, you may notice that I'm a fish. That's because I didn't feel like doing all the makeup and all the hair and all the nonsense. So enjoy, because somehow I realize that this must just sound so bizarre. Somehow it is easier and less time consuming to animate myself as a fish rather than to like do the makeup and the lighting and all that lovely jazz. So, at least for this video, I'm gonna be a fish. Enjoy! Okay, so what's a model? Well, we use models to explain the relationship between variables and to make predictions. So for now, we're going to focus on linear models, but I just want you to remember that there are just so many other models out there, just tons. And I've illustrated this with these two plots below. Linear is a line, nonlinear can capture more nuance and just give a better fit to our data. Because sure, technically we can draw a line through our nonlinear data, but it's kind of misleading. Again, this is why I emphasize look at your data, because then you can see this stuff. Okay, so recall. Yeah. So in your other classes, you've learned how to infer parameter values and test hypotheses. And those parameter estimates in the corresponding tests are valid given certain assumptions about the data. In other videos in this module, I'm going to talk about how to check whether those assumptions hold, how to try and make the data fit those assumptions if they don't hold, and what to do if even the transformations don't work. But for now, I'm going to talk to you about some data. Cool. So I'm going to read in this printed catalog data that you are welcome to download. It's on the website. Who essentially catalogs of 28 auction sales from Paris at the end of the 18th century. Now the data curators are Sandra von Gilhoven and Hilary Koch-Kronheim. They were PhD students in the Duke Art Law and Markets Initiative at the time that this data set was put together. They translated and tabulated the catalogs. This data is just beautiful and awesome, and we're showing it here. And it consists of 3,393 paintings, their prices, as well as descriptive detail from these sales catalogs of over 60 variables. It's a pretty cool data set. So that's why it's here. All right. So old school auctions today. I will probably embed this video because, yeah. So this is Sotheby's. It's very fancy schmancy. All right. Auctions back in the day. Here's an 18th century painting, and we're talking crowded rooms with like people just like chaos. All right. So here's a basic plot that Sandra did. It's glorious. And it plots the Paris auction market over time with its 1,000+ sales, and 762 of them are of paintings, and this just gives you a general sense of what we're looking at. I'm gonna edit this in later because my French is a terrible I'm just terrible at pronouncing. Just to give you a sense of this little time window here, it was not the market was rough. We're right in at the beginnings of the French Revolution, and it was a rough time. So here's some snapshots of the auction catalog text. Here's a translation. Two paintings very rich in composition, of a beautiful execution, and whose merit is very remarkable. Each is 17 inches and 3 lines high, 23 inches wide. The first painting on wood comes from the cabinet of Madame de Comtesse de Verrou. It represents a departure from the hunt. It shows the front in front a child on a white horse and a man who gives the horn to gather the dogs, a falconer, and other figures nicely distributed across the width of the painting. Two horses drinking from a fountain on the right. In the corner, a lovely country house topped by a terrace on which people are at the table, others who play instruments, trees, and fabriques pleasantly enrich the background. There's a lot of detail. And here's the raw data set describing this painting. So let's find it in our data based on that file name. We can kind of dive in here. And so we've got one row with 63 columns. So we can see the name, the raw name, the sale, the lot number, the year, the dealer, the original author, the logged or a log transformed price versus a regular price, and just the total count, and all this other super cool stuff. It's like great detail, and it really gives you a flavor of what is happening. So that is wrapping up our little intro into the language. I'm going to keep going in my recording session as a fiche, but you should see a nice cut about here.